Lake Michigan steams like a young man's dreams, and nestled on our coast 40 miles to the north of Green Bay is the dream raceway of not only NR 2003, but NASCAR Thunder 2004. Hello out there, we're on the air, and it's race day today in the Badger State. It's a beautiful afternoon in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, as we welcome you to the Old Spice High Endurance Raceway for stop number 8 of the 2024 Flowmaster Grand Touring Championship, the Old Spice Wisconsin Grand Prix. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, lads of all ages, as we welcome you to the track with live coverage on the North American Sim Racing Network, and from high in the sky in the press box, my name is Trey Wright for the NASRN. We begin the final 5 races of the 2024 FMGTC season on the coast of America's Dairyland, and measuring at only a mile and a half, we stop at our smallest track of the schedule with 150 laps on tap for this afternoon's race at Old Spice. And like we said, 5 races remain in the inaugural season of the FMGTC after a great race at Watkins Glen back on the 4th of July that saw Jaden Russell and Alex Lozano take home the victories for GT Le Mans and GT Daytona respectively at Watkins Glen International. We go down to your point standings for each class, starting with GT Le Mans, and Eric Monaco with his good doubleheader back at Mosport and Watkins Glen up last month finds himself up in the point standings for the first time this season. He leads by 4 points over Nathan Orman. Jaden Russell is 26 back, Blaze Zebratar 36 behind, and Caleb Rose rounding out your top 5 of the point standings with 430 points, 41 points behind Eric Monaco. Remember, every position is worth 5 points. We also have 5 bonus points that are up for grabs, so there are points aplenty here in the FMGTC. And now going over to the GT Daytona points, it is a much closer point battle. Dylan Matthews holds with 500 points over Daniel Bouchard, Dustin Davis, and John Stewart, a 3-way tie for second place between those 3 drivers, and Connor Monaco and Igor Barreto rounding out your top 6 for GT Daytona, and pretty much everybody on down to Colin Bear within 100 points of Dylan Matthews, the points leader. And again, looking at your point system, you get 105 points for first place, 95 points for second, 90 for third, and all going down to 5 points for every position. So it's definitely going to be interesting here today at this small but fast racing facility up in Wisconsin. And with 5 races to go, every finish for these drivers means more as we count down the races until the season finale on Christmas Day at the Riverside International Raceway. But that is then, and this is now. And it's that time of the broadcast again, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go down trackside to get the most famous words in motorsports to kick off the Old Spice Wisconsin Grand Prix.
Drivers, start your engines.
And the engines roar to life on the front stretch here at Old Spice as we are just moments away from dropping the green flag for today's contest. Jaden Russell picks up right where he left off from the Glen. He sits on the pole for GT Le Mans in the number 8 Army Black Knights Corvette. The vet's sweeping the front row here this afternoon as Aguirre Sato is to his outside in the number 49. Then back in there for GT Daytona, they're led to green by that man right there, Ryan Durrani. Starting on the pole position for your Mosport winner, the number 16 Castrol GTX Ford Mustang. Next to him is Blake Bevillier in the number 11 ABC Supply Code Dodge Viper, your Denver winner back in April. So everybody rolls off the starting grid. Taking a look at the track itself, it's an 8-turn facility at Old Spice with long straights, banked curves, technical S's, and a hairpin right at the end to complete a lap. And it's 150 laps around this mile-and-a-half track in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. The pit window for both classes is between 60 and 62 laps, so only 2 stops are in order for today. As Russell and Sato will lead the field through this banked turn number 7 at 25 degrees. They'll lead the field into one of 2 hairpins on opposite sides of the track. Here in turn number 8, to get things going here up in Wisconsin. They'll go through the restart zone, and here we are, green flag waving in the air. Hello from Wisconsin. Hello from Old Spice. Sato will lead the field into turn number 8 for the first time today. This is one of the many trouble spots. So everybody will get through here. I don't know if there's a little bit of front rear end damage to Ryan Durrani already. No, he looks clean out the back end. Blake Bavillier will take the race lead in GT Daytona, and back up front, Aguirre Sato. One position away from winning the race in Mexico City in May. We'll take the lead away from Jaden Russell and Eric Monaco right in front of Russell, rather. Nathan Orman making it 4 wide right on the start. Thankfully, they were able to back it down to 3 wide going through corner number 1. But single file throughout the majority of GT Le Mans. He tries to go underneath Nathan Stapleton. Stapleton will block a little bit, but here comes a good run from the 4-car. Orman trying to thunder to the inside of Nathan Stapleton. They continue to battle for position. And back in here, the Wisconsinite of Logan Williams, trying to win at his home track. He won at Milwaukee, as he's going to go to the outside. He won the Mission Barbecue Cup Series at Milwaukee a couple of months ago. But right now, he is going the wrong direction in that 6-car, quickly falling behind as he tries to get around this 59 of Zachary Fitzwater. That is the battle for about 12th or 13th, or 15th or 16th, I'd say, as Zachary Fitzwater has not had a good stretch of races in that 59. Going into the summer, it looked like he was going to be a competitor for this championship. Has been at the top of the standings for the majority of the year. Actually, that's Owen Miles in the 59. My apologies. Zachary Fitzwater is actually further back. Where is that 62 car? Oh no, there. Oh, there's Zachary Fitzwater back in here. He is currently 20th. I got the 59. It's been a while since we've recorded an FMGTC race, but Owen Miles even deeper in the points than Zachary Fitzwater. But Fitzwater fighting with in the 62 car. He's not had a good stretch of races. Blew an oil filter, an oil line, or a fuel line, actually, at Watkins Glen. Obviously wrecked out at Mosport. Had a mid-race at Mexico City, and really ever since then it's just been mid-finish after poor finish for Fitzwater. So he just tries to finish this race on track on the lead lap and not in the garage area, but he is quickly falling behind in the 62. We go back up front. Aguirre Sato still in the lead. Monaco behind by about 5 car lengths. There's some contact in the back. Somebody going around, and it's Logan Williams, a Wisconsinite, going into the outside wall. He having an issue in the 6-car. And that is heavy rear end damage and roof damage to that Muscle Milk Cytomax Jaguar. And he is going to go deep in the field, so Williams, bad luck. And the FMGTC continues. He is currently last in the GTLM point standings. 285 points behind Eric Monaco. And he is going to continue to fall back, and I think he got a little bit of help there from Micah Knapp. No, I don't think it was from Micah Knapp. It was, not sure who it was from. You'll have seen the replay down below, as Blake Bavillier actually making some strides in this 11 car. He's actually gotten around Roberto Crown Jr. once again, starting and near the tail end of the field and falling back on the clutches of GT Daytona. But only one incident so far in this race. Logan Williams falling behind. That'll be 3 straight races where Williams will have some sort of issue. It is, again, like we've said all season long, it's not been a good season whatsoever for Williams on the FMGT side. And obviously him missing the chase in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series by only a handful of points, not really helping things either, but did get the win at Milwaukee, holding off Skylar Taylor. That lady right there in the 45 car, holding off that driver to be able to win at the Milwaukee Mile back in July. June or July. I believe it was early July. I think it was right after, a little bit after the Duncan Week of Speed, a couple races after that. As Sato continues to lead, help from Monaco right behind him. Sato leads, Monaco behind. Sato leads, Monaco behind. Russell back in third. Oh, and somebody going around there in the back. Not sure who it was. Oh, it looks like it's going to be John Stewart rather, in the 98. As he is going to hold up this back end. Taking a look at the replay down below was Stewart. A lot of rear end damage in that 98. So in both hairpins on this track so far, we have had issues. As Stewart going around there, your 2.4 hour winner back in 2023, or in 2022, I believe. So like we said, having some problems on both ends and having some technical problems with our monitor up here, but we finally got that figured out. It happens during every broadcast. Probably invest in some new equipment here for the next upcoming seasons, the MBCS and the FMGTC, and potentially the WAS, given my schedule in real life, my personal life, figuring out a lot of hockey games on the weekends, obviously being a senior in college, trying to figure things out for the upcoming years to come. Hopefully we'll be doing another season of the FMGTC. Don't know about doing another season of the MBCS and the WAS. I don't know if about that, doing that. That might be on hold for the fall, given everything that's going on. In case you're just tuning in, two different incidents here on both ends of the racetrack, starting off with that man right there of Logan Williams going around in turn number 8. And then John Stewart, 2 cars behind him, going around in turn number 3. So far, everybody in the race, everybody's still in the contest, with Micah Knapp bookending this field right now, or caboosing this field rather. Alex Lozano a little far back from your last winner in the FMGTC at Watkins Glen, and Connor Monaco. Got a clean race car so far, but he is in good, huge need of a good finish. Same with Dylan Matthews, who actually runs a little bit behind Brooke Paquette. As Blake Pavilion, I don't know what they put in that 11 car this week, but he is running on rails. He is way out in front of Ryan Durrani, who's second, Logan Alexander third, Nagora fourth, Paquette is fifth. And Dylan Matthews, your current points leader for GT Daytona, running in the 6th spot. Colin Bayer in 7th, Michael Brown 8th, Daniel Bouchard 9th. Griffin Lynn rounding out your top 10 for GTD, back up to GT Le Mans. Again, nothing home to write about other than Monaco closing the gap in that 49 just a little bit. He's about, we'll call it 10 car lengths away from Sato. So half a second behind that time by. We'll see what the interval is as they go around the hairpin at the stripe that time around, closing in by 100th. It's a little close, but it still is a plenty long race. We're only 10% of the way through the Old Spice Wisconsin Grand Prix. And Sato has led them all, took the lead away from Jaden Russell in the first corner of the race. And he has just been putting a sail in this Wisconsin wind ever since then. As they go through turn number 7, good lap that time for Sato, as he looks to increase his lead over Eric Monaco. Corvette's running 1, 2, 3, and 5. the lone Jaguar in the 4th spot, the highest running Jaguar in position number 4. Monaco actually closing in about a half of a tenth there. Looks like we had, I don't know if we had another issue in the back. Oh, and Ryan Durrani has gone around in the 16. Durrani was running in the 2nd spot, and he too has gone around in turn number 3. And nearly going around there was Logan Williams with Brad Stover. A lot of guys with damage. In fact, all 3 guys that have had issues early on in this race within frame right now. To take a look at the replay, Durrani getting spun around in corner number 3. And he'll get passed there by the 6. And somebody is down the pit lane. It is Logan Alexander, who has hit the pit, some sort of issue on that 71 car. I don't know if he got collected with Durrani there, as he'll surrender a position. So the 2nd and 3rd place cars for GT Daytona having issues, and haven't been able to see the replay yet, but you guys will have seen it by now. I think it might have been Logan Alexander who turned around the 16 car, battling for 2nd, and that puts Blake Bavillier out by a wide margin, a 2-second lead. Scratch that, a 3.5-second lead over Tatiana Nagora for the lead for GT Daytona. Big lead there for Blake Bavillier. You see these guys having issues in the back. In fact, these 3 guys all with damage. Holding up Brad Stover, Matt Lagacy, a couple of these guys. As Stover goes wide, that'll open the door for Davis to try and get around. That's not Stover, that's Stewart. In the 98, Brad Stover in front of all these guys, currently running back in the, I believe, the 10th position for GT Daytona. As the Daytona winner of Dustin Davis just tries to get around these drivers. Oh, not able to get around John Stewart there, and he's got to be careful with Matt Lagacy running right behind him. Davis trying to go the long way around, unsuccessful there, and he'll lose a couple tenths of a second. That's the battle right now for GT Daytona. Villiers has got so much clean air in front of him, and he is running away with this Daytona lead, but again, only about 11% of the way through this race so far on lap 20 of 150. So plenty of time to get there at the end. As Aguirre Sato is caught up to lap traffic, as Alex Lozano, your last winner for GT Daytona, also going around. And I think with 3 incidents in turn number 3, it completes the trifecta, and it officially marks that as Calamity Corner. Juan Rodriguez also in the back as well, so a lot of drivers, particularly in GT Daytona, having issues. The only driver with a problem, GT Le Mans, no surprise, Logan Williams in that 6 car. And Sato now having to try and fight around lap traffic for the first time today. He's caught up to the very tail end of GT Daytona, and he's going to catch up to the actual tail end of GTD in a couple of laps as Lagacy goes wide. Nearly running the back of Dustin Davis right there. And Sato has caught up to this 43 car. Now where does he pounce? Where does he go around? And he's going to try and go around on the outside. That'll transition to the inside. Very tight down low, but being able to stick it down there like a piece of gum was Sato. Textbook move down past the stricken 43 of Lozano. Now Monaco trying to do the same thing. Lozano being very difficult to try and get around. But Monaco will finally go to the inside of the 43. Now Russell will have to deal around this 43 as Sato catches up to 2 more Daytona cars. Working on lap number 23. Sato a little loose there. Going through turn 6. He's able to gather it back up before losing the car. So he tries to get around Juan Rodriguez. One of about 6 drivers, I'd say, in the field today that's going to be fighting for a championship in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series, as Rodriguez will give him a little bit of a whack going through 1. That might be the opportunity Monaco needs to try and get around this 49. No, Sato will get around the 75 cleanly. No love lost between the 75 and the 2. No, Eric Monaco and Juan Rodriguez having an extended rivalry in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series, but Rodriguez, oh, he's going to close the door right on Monaco. And if Eric didn't tap the brake there, he would have absolutely sent that 75 into the wall. As things start to get frisky here on lap 25, Rodriguez and Monaco still fighting for us. Rodriguez racing Monaco really aggressively, but Monaco will finally thunder to the inside of the 75, but he lost quite a bit of time to Aguirre Sato, who finds himself out front by about 15 car lengths. We'll see what the second interval is this time around, as he'll move around Logan Alexander. Oh, car's going around, and it is going to be the 75 of Juan Rodriguez, and everybody saw that happening, going around there in turn number 8. And I believe he went off the front end of Jaden Russell, who punted that 75 car around. You'll see the replay in just a second is for the race lead. Looking for the first lead change of the afternoon. Monaco with good drafting help from behind this 49 car. Sato to the outside, I'll have the inside lane going through 8. Monaco looking to draft off of Alexander, who loses control and takes himself out. And that was right in front of your GTLM leaders, as Logan Alexander, another driver fighting for a championship in the Cup Series, will lose control. And he will go further in the back in that 71. Not a good start for Alexander in that 071 car. So a lot of action, a lot of wheel hopping, especially going through this corner. We flash back to the front of the field, and Aguirre Sato is nowhere to be found. I don't know if Sato came down the pit lane. He did. And it's a brake failure for the leader of the race. Something you definitely need at a relatively flat course like this, and Sato is going to be out of contention here today. And that'll give Eric Monaco the race lead with Jaden Russell right behind him. Sato is going to go down at least a lap here. We'll see if the team is able to repair the brakes in time. He's going to come out. No, but he's easily going to lose a lap there. Heartbreak for Sato, who dominated the first 27 laps of this race. And he is going to fall all the way to the back. A very, very tough break. The driver of that 49 car. So action all around the track and inside the cars as well, as Sato will rejoin the field. And oh, some front end damage on Bradley Reams' Boston Red Sox Corvette. That team's going to remove the hood, so he will go down a lap. GTLM will fly past him, but he is going to be a moving chicane. And now we'll get to the replays. We'll start off with a replay of Juan Rodriguez going around. See, I don't know if he wheel hopped it or if Russell helped him. Then we got the replay of the 71 going around. There was a clear wheel hop through the corner. And finally, we'll see what happened to Bradley Ream. As, oh, little contact there. Voiles making some moves, some physicality with Alex Lozano. Oh, and he's nearly gonna go. They're gonna go 4 wide as Fitzwater and Caleb Rose will stick it in there for 4 abreast. That was dangerously close for Caleb Rose and Zachary Fitzwater, 2 drivers that need good runs here today. And just as I say that, Rose and Lozano, each driver going upside down, a hard crash in turn number 2. That'll take Lozano out of the race as he's beached Tony Stewart style, and Caleb Rose, like we said, he needed a good run today, and the exact opposite is gonna happen. Rose will likely be the first fatality today at Old Spice as the pace and the drama picks up. As now Monaco has got to navigate through this lap down traffic. As we are midway through this pit cycle here at Old Spice. We'll see the replay of Lozano and Rose's incident. Rose just being a little too aggressive, and he pays the price as both of those cars will go upside down. And now some contact between Blaze Zebratar and Micah Knapp. Zebratar just banging on that quarter panel of that 056. As Monaco just tries to get past all of these drivers back in here. And he's caught up to the tail end of GT Le Mans, or GT Daytona rather. So you see both Rose and Lozano on the pits. And this is really going to be an issue all afternoon long. Especially once we close in on this pit cycle in about 30 laps. But with how small this track is, catching up to the GT Daytona cars is going to be a necessary evil. Now getting around them is going to be a huge task as well, especially around these tight confines here at Old Spice, as Monaco being held up by his younger brother, and Eric having to put the brakes on to prevent from ARCA braking into Connor. The 2 natives of Unionville, New York, the 2 Monaco brothers, running nose to tail right now. And Eric trying to get around Connor, but Connor's running for a points battle. And he's going to try and use Eric as a little bit of a boost, but Eric just trying to get around his younger brother. Now he'll go to the inside. As Eric's fighting for this race lead. A little close quarters around, but he's able to get around as Eric Monaco around Connor Monaco. 2 Monacos running side by side as Eric will try to go for the 2-for-1 special underneath Igor Barreto. Got a lot of drivers on the grid running for this MBCS championship. Starting off next week, or this upcoming Wednesday, down in Darlington, South Carolina. Igor Barreto, one of those drivers. In fact, it'll be Igor Barreto, Bradley Ream. Trying to look at everything here. Igor Barreto, Bradley Ream, Dylan Matthews, Juan Rodriguez, Logan Alexander. Will be those, 5 or 6 drivers that'll be running for a championship that are in the grid here this afternoon. As Eric Monaco continues to lead, and he has got a 2-car buffer between himself and Jaden Russell. As Reggie Fogelman, oh no, Mike Vincent Jr. wheel hops it through 8. So another GT Le Mans car with issues as Vincent Jr. will spin around Tough break for your Willow Springs winner. He will go to the back. He doesn't lose too much time, but he's going to lose a lot of time trying to repair that car on the pit lane. Thought I heard somebody go around as a Girasato. Trying to make his way back through here. Somebody is down the pit lane. It is John Stewart. A couple other cars. Bradley Ream and Mike Vincent Jr. down the pit lane. A lot of cars going off. This is scarily reminding me of Mexico City with how many cars we're just having go off the racetrack and have issues. As Eric just continues to methodically cut his way through this field. But Jaden Russell, how about that? Been able to get around 3 lap cars since we saw him. He's right back behind this 2 car who's struggling to get around Matt Lagasse and Dustin Davis, but now he's going to have to get around 2 stricken machines. Ooh, Buchanan really loses. Nathan Orman will go around along with Micah Knapp. Knapp will have damage in the 56. Orman looks clean, but he may have flat spotted his tires. And we're starting to see as the tires wear out, these guys get really loose going through the corners, which is incredible given the amount of downforce that these cars have. I'm very surprised to see them wheel hopping through these hairpins, but that's ultimately been the case here today. Now Jaden Russell right behind Eric Monaco. These guys got to be careful to not be really way too aggressive with just how everybody has been wheel hopping through the 2 hairpin corners. Monaco still trying to get around Matt Lagasse. Russell looking for an opening. Thought he had it in the middle line. Now Monaco will thunder to the inside of Lagasse. Russell right behind him. Blaze Zebratar will round out this top duo, and this top trio rather, and they are leaving the 06 of Reggie Fogelman in the dust at the moment. About 2 seconds in front are the leaders in front of Reggie Fogelman. That time by, Fogelman will close in by half of a second. He's 1.56 seconds behind the 2 of Eric Monaco. But these top 3 guys continue to be held up by Matt Lagasse and Jaden Russell, trying to look to the outside of this Monaco machine. But now he's got to play a 2-front war as Blaze Zebratar right behind him, trying to still get around Eric Monaco. Monaco trying to get around the lap cars as Ryan Durrani will hit the pit lane. That's one last car he's going to have to get around. Lagasse, though, being very difficult. Monaco will force it to the inside. I thought he was going to punt Lagasse straight out of the way there. And now Lagasse, he's trying to fight hard on the outside. He's got to be careful that he doesn't take out the GTLM leader, but Monaco will get around. And now is Jaden Russell's issue is Matt Lagasse. Action everywhere on the racetrack you can find. There is not a boring moment here as we are 20 laps away from our first pit stop of the afternoon. And it has been a good one. It has been an entertaining one so far. Monaco will get around the 72 of Davis. And again, this GT Daytona unit split into 2 packs as Blake Bavillier just continues to dominate in this 11 car. Again, A7, make that an 8-second lead over Tatiana Nagora. For Blake Bavillier looking for win number 2 of the season. And that would for sure catapult him in the conversation for winning this championship. Monaco also looking for win number 2 of 2024. Tries to get around Logan Williams in the 6 car, and he will. And now it's clean racetrack in front of this 2 machine. Next car in line, Brad Stover, who is about half a mile in front. I don't think Monaco's going to catch up to him before this cycle of pit stops. And Russell just continuing to struggle to get around these lap down machines. But Nathan Orman going around. You'll have seen the replay by now. That's huge when it comes to the points, as Lagasse will go around. He too will wheel hop it through the corner. He will lose a lot of spots. He is able to keep that 60 car clean, so good news out of that driver. But again, this points battle, especially with Orman going around, now that it is huge that Orman did not get any damage in that 4 machine, because he is in a dogfight for this championship. But Eric Monaco's out front. Orman, who is only 6 points behind Monaco, gonna fall down a ton in the point standings. Trying to see who's on the pit lane. It is Williams and Alexander once again. But right now, Eric Monaco, the way he's been running these last 20 laps, looking like the car to beat. Again, Aguirre Sato dominating the early stages of this race, but at lap 27, 49 car having a brake issue. That has given the lead to Eric Monaco ever since, and he is running away with this. A 2-second lead that time by. Last time by over Jaden Russell. We'll see what the interval is. It's got to be a lot bigger. Not really. Only increasing his lead by a 10th over Jaden Russell, but still finding a 10th on the racetrack. Not the easiest thing to do, but Monaco just running his race right now in that GMAC number 2 Corvette. And already it looks like Dano Georgi will hit the pit lane in the 84. Don't see any sort of issue as Georgi will head off the pit lane. 14:39 seconds stop right now. That looks to be your fastest 4-tire pit stop. He will go down a lap, hitting off sequence. Now we expect these guys to come down the pit lane within the next, we'll call it 10 laps or so. But Georgi is going to have the fresher rubber. He's going to try and get around these guys. See if we have any more takers down the pit lane. We don't, but somebody going off track, and I believe it was John Stewart once again. As Aguirre Sato just tries to salvage anything he can, currently running all the way in the 21st spot. Actually, make that the 18th spot for GT Le Mans. Somebody going around, and it's Connor Monaco in the 21. Another driver wheel hopping it through turn 8. And Monaco losing a lot of ground there. Again, that's not what you want in this championship battle, especially going into a wild card like Thornton. And these next 4 races after this are really going to be 4 of our, I don't want to say our wildest tracks, but our most interesting tracks, we'll say that. The Streets of Thornton coming up on September 13th. Then the Long Island Fall Classic at Bridgehampton. You see that with the Cup cars. That's going to be nuts. And then Barber on Thanksgiving, with doing the test sessions with that. That'll probably be the Talladega of the schedule, with just how insane that race will be. And of course, Riverside to cap things off on Christmas Day. Nathan Buchanan down the pit lane. Scheduled stop for him. As Monaco continues to lead, although Jaden Russell starting to close in just a little bit. 0.02 of a second, that 8 car closing in, as we're a third of the way through the Wisconsin Grand Prix and closing in on the first set of pit stops. And oh, right in front of the leaders, Michael Brown and Daniel Bouchard going around in turn number 3. They'll get right and going. That was very close for Eric Monaco, but he will remain straight as an arrow. And we will keep things going here as we approach as, oh no, Dano Georgi going off in the 84. And this race is quickly just turning into Mexico City, and that 84 was trying to play strategy. It's all gone out the window for Georgi. And ironically, your Mexico City winner, contributing to this race, which is reminding me a lot of the Mexico City race. A lot of cars with issues, but Eric Monaco just continues to run his race with 8 laps to go until the pit window opening here at Old Spice. Flip back at the battle for GT Daytona, and it's really not a battle in any sort of the imagination as Blake Bavillier just continues to spank this GT Daytona field. Bavillier just really running his race right now. A 8-second lead. We'll see what it is this time by. I believe it's probably going to be about 9 seconds. About 8 seconds there. About an 8-second lead over Tatiana Nagora and 31 machine of Brooke Paquette. Somebody was coming down the pit lane. Not sure who that was. It is going to be Felipe Santos and Skylar Taylor hitting the pit lane for GT Le Mans, so this window may be opening a little bit sooner than we anticipated. See what Monaco does this time around. He will stay out. Now Russell, oh my goodness! I just about had a heart attack right there. But Jaden Russell will come down just barely, missing the attenuator. I thought he was going to smash into that. And Blake Bavillier is also down in the 11, so the pit stops happening about 5 laps earlier than we anticipated, but Jaden Russell is down the pit lane in this number 8 car. Bavillier is out and away. Russell coming off the pit lane. Nathan Orman down the pit lane as well. 4-tire stop for Jaden Russell. A little bit of an extended stop there as Reggie Fogelman will be right behind him. Fogelman is actually going to get around this 8 car off the pit lane. How about that for Reggie Fogelman? Oh, and Russell hits the outside wall hard. Doesn't look like he's got too much damage in that 8 machine. But Jaden Russell, not good for him as he will fall back. So the rest of the field will come down. I imagine there he is. Eric Monaco is down the pit lane. He will be out and away. Staying out that time was Blaze Zebratar. He will come down next time by. And Monaco, clean exit off of the pits. And he will come out in front of Reggie Fogelman and Jaden Russell. So the overcut working just a little bit in favor of this 2 car. Zebratar down the pit lane. Now we'll see. Nathan Stapleton, I believe, will inherit the race lead. There he is in the 7. So he'll get a lap led. And right now, Colin Bear leading at least 1 lap for GT Daytona. We'll see where Blake Bavillier cycles back to, and that 11 car had a huge lead, but he might lose it on the pit lane. And Daniel Bouchard is back in. Colin Bear will surrender the GT Daytona lead as the GT Le Mans lead surrendered by Nathan Stapleton. And that will cycle things out. So working on lap 57 of 150. Our first cycle of pit stops completed at Old Spice. And we're just waiting for things to cycle around here. Stapleton is off the pit lane. He is out of his box. And it should be Eric Monaco, and it is going to be Eric Monaco cycling back out to the front for GT Le Mans, back for GT Daytona. Only for everybody to cross the start-finish line, but it should be Blake Bavillier back out front by a wide margin. Villiers running 15th that time by, and Tatiana Nagora right behind him as well. And how about that for Dylan Matthews, your points leader for GT Daytona? Moving up a position on the pit lane. She will be third, and Villiers continues to lead for GTD. As splitting, Caleb Rose in the middle. Riley Sampson will keep the car on. Somebody's off the track. Believe that may have been Juan Rodriguez, but now that we're officially a third of the way through the race and we've got one cycle of pit stops notched in as, oh, that is, I think that's, never mind, that's going to be Eric Monaco with front end damage. And Monaco, the dominant car of the second stint, is down the pit lane. So that'll give the lead to Reggie Fogelman and Eric Monaco, just like we saw with Aguirre Sato. The two dominant cars out front for GT Le Mans having issues, and that might be the end of the day for Monaco. A tough break for that two car. So Fogelman will inherit the lead. We're not sure what happened. You'll see the replay on your screen. But Fogelman out front by a wide margin. And I think it's no time like the present to get us Twisted Tea race break here at Old Spice. So starting things off, Reggie Fogelman, your leader for GT Le Mans. Second is Jaden Russell. Third, Blaise Zebratar. Fourth, Felipe Santos. Fifth is Sebastian Palmer. Sixth, Owen Miles. Seventh, Dano Georgi. Eighth, Aguirre Sato. Or no, Dano Georgi is not seventh. That'll be Aguirre Sato. Eighth is Michelle Gavinou. Ninth, Daniel Voiles. And 10th, Nathan Stapleton. 11th, Nathan Ormond. 12th, Riley Sampson. 13th, Mike Vincent Jr. 14th. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to do this here with these cars. I believe 14th is, well, I think it was Eric Monaco, but I think 14th is now going to go to Zachary Fitzwater. 15th will be Skylar Taylor. And 16th will be Eric Monaco, just trying to figure everything out here. Especially with, now we got to go to GT Daytona. Just trying to find Blake Bavillier. We cycled around him at least once. There's Bavillier. He runs first. Second is the 22 of Tatiana Nagora. Third, Dylan Matthews. Fourth, Brooke Paquette. Fifth, Colin Bear. Sixth is Griffin Lynn. Seventh, Josh Harmon. Somebody going around in the back once again. And it's Michael Brown in the 25. And we're just going to go back because there is just action happening all over the racetrack. Can't exactly do a Twisted Tea race break at a time like this. But right now, fastest lap, Caleb Rose, who's going to need those bonus points going into Thornton for GT Le Mans, for GT Daytona. Logan Alexander in the 71. Running a fast lap there for that Dodge Viper. Looking at the fastest four-tire pit time. 14:28 out of Daniel Voiles' camp. Looks to be the fastest time so far. $14:28. Oh, is that, or Owen Miles getting 14:28 as well. Again, we are going to have another set of pit stops. No, Nathan Orman 14:25. Fastest stop for GT Le Mans, at least. And for GT Daytona, looks like 15:14 for the 026. Now 15:11 for, or 15 even rather, for the 025 of Michael Brown. Yeah, Michael Brown right now, the fastest pit stop for GT Daytona. And nearly taking out the GT Le Mans leader is Griffin Lynn. But again, we are going to have one more set of pit stops in about 40 or so laps. But right now, it's Reggie Fogelman leading here for GT Le Mans. Jaden Russell continues to be second, and he is kind of kicking himself for the little piss-poor pit stop that he had. Losing track position there to the 06 of Fogelman. Because Russell could be picking up valuable bonus points on that 2 car, who is right in front of the GT Le Mans leaders at the moment. Fitzwater through the corner. Taylor a little below him. That is a couple of guys battling back in there. Fitzwater another unfortunate run for him. Skylar Taylor just trying to weather the storm. Looking back through here. We'll see. Oh, there's Blaze Zebratar on track. Running in third, where he's been pretty much all race long in car number 3. 41 cars remain on the track. Alex Lozano is the only retiree after being beached on top of the safer barrier wall in turn number 1, or turn 2 rather, a la Tony Stewart. As Fogelman continues to pick them up and put them down one at a time. In this 06 car, as he'll get around Roberto Crown Jr. A little close between the 06 and the 33, but Crown Jr. will abide on the outside lane. Griffin Lynn and Josh Harmon being equally finicky with this 8 machine. Brad Stover trying to get to the inside. That is not for any sort of position. Blake Bavillier has opened up a 10-second lead for GT Daytona, which is a little, I don't want to say sketch, but it's a little odd to see GT Le Mans having the closest battle on track and GT Daytona really just being a one-man show. But again, we have no idea how anything is going to shape out. Blake Bavillier is not safe by any stretch of the imagination. You know, things could happen. We don't know what happened to Eric Monaco. He definitely ran into something. But, you know, it happened to Monaco. It happened to Sato. Who's Sato right now losing spots. Remember, he came in at lap 29, I think it was, with a brake failure, pit the car then. And I believe he should be coming back down the pit lane in about 10 laps or so. About 8 to 10 laps remaining in this fuel tank for Sato. So he's been able to get back up here, but I think he might unfortunately have to pit 3 times. We'll just wait and see how that goes. Again, much like pretty much just everything here, it's just wait and see here in the FMGTC. With how long these races are and how crazy this race has been, as Micah Knapp spinning around in front of the GTLM leaders. It's the second or third time we've seen that 56 car sailing around. Oh, and he's going to take out Blaze Zebratar. Zebratar going around. Brad Stover also spinning. That's in front of a lot of drivers for GT Le Mans. Zebratar, who was running third at the time, will lose all that track position. And like we said, right on cue, you never know what's going to happen. You just got to wait and see. And that was a prime situation in Zebratar. Not happy whatsoever with Micah Knapp. Those two drivers will have to talk it out. What a tough break for Zebratar, who's 36 points behind Monaco. Was looking to have a good run, but his day is going to come to a competitive end. And I'd say this race is, again, it's really turning in to the Mexico City race. But again, that was the battle for third. There's been a leader jinx here for GT Le Mans. Now for GT Daytona, it's really just been Blake Bavillier, but the leader jinx we've had up here, we might have it for GT Daytona as Bavillier just continues to move his way around. That car has got the speed of an LM car today. I don't know what they did on the setup, but props to Bavillier and that 11 team for just bringing an absolute beast of a machine as he's getting around a lot of these Le Mans cars with just slight damage. I don't even think Skylar Taylor has any damage in that 45, and just I say that, she's going to move to the inside of Bavillier. She's got to be careful racing with a GT Daytona leader. Actually, she does have a little bit of front-end damage. But back in here, and what a fustercluck that the GT Le Mans leaders are just fighting their way through right now. Colin Bear in front of Jaden Russell. As second, third, and fourth for GT Daytona being lapped here by the GT Le Mans leader of Reggie Fogelman. Fogelman just trying to get around these cars. As next time by will be the halfway point through the Old Spice Wisconsin Grand Prix. Reggie Fogelman desperately trying to fight around lap traffic. But there's been a leader's jinx here for GT Le Mans. In case you were just tuning in, that man right there led for the second third of this first half. Aguirre Sada led for the first third. And right now, Reggie Fogelman has got to be very careful getting around these lead lap cars for GT Le Mans. GT Daytona, rather. Juan Rodriguez going off track once again. But the cross flags have been displayed. We're officially halfway home here in Wisconsin. Fogelman in heavy lap traffic in this 06. Moving up the track was Brooke Paquette. That'll be good for the 06. Still trying to fight his way. He's been in second pretty much all day, it seems, is Jaden Russell, who he would love to win and go back-to-back in this 8 car after winning from the pole. But just trying to survive is objective number 1 here today, I'd imagine. So we flip through the field. But it's Reggie Fogelman gets around the lap down cars. Trying to get around Dylan Matthews in this 26. Fogelman just trying to move around Russell all far back, 3 wide back in here. They'll file it back down to about 2 wide. And Fogelman will move to the inside of the 26. Trying to move to the inside, a little close for comfort there, as Matthews just trying to fight for that spot. Fogelman sliding it down to the inside, easy textbook pass. And setting his sights on the 22 of Tatiana Nagora. Blake Pavillier continues to lead. Here for GT Daytona, getting around these slower GT Le Mans cars. Fogelman right on the back end of this 22 car, really wide through the corner was Monaco. Russell continues to fall back in the 8 car. Trying to go the long way around Nagoro was the 06. Fogelman definitely has the faster car. Nagoro running out front. There's a car in second spot for GT Daytona. And going around is Eric Monaco and the 64 of Felipe Santos. Turn number 8 strikes once again. And getting around, whoa, a little close there for the 06. But Fogelman has gotten around Tatiana Nagora, contact in the back. But Fogelman has gotten around the lap down cars, and while we've got a little bit of a break, we'll step aside for our only commercial break of the afternoon. So we're past the halfway point in the Old Spice, Wisconsin Grand Prix. You're watching live coverage of the Flowmaster Grand Touring Championship, live from the Old Spice High Endurance Raceway in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin.
25 years of design and thousands of man-hours on product development. Flowmaster measures real performance where it matters most. Delivering the power you want, Flowmaster's complete family of performance mufflers outperforms any other street muffler with a sound and tone that's right for your vehicle.
Check out our website, flowmastermufflers.com.
Eat like a king who's on a budget. 3 tasty options, fries, drink, and nuggets, all for $5. Wait, that can't be right. Just confirm that that's the real price. BK, have it your way.
God damn it!
Beep, 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 beep.
We have issues.
And we're back at the Old Spice Raceway for the second half of today's Old Spice Wisconsin Grand Prix for round number 8 of the Flowmaster Grand Touring Championship. Trey Wright bringing you the action as Reggie Fogelman leads here by about 2.5 seconds over Jaden Russell. As Russell trying to move around lap traffic. That's the battle for GT Le Mans. And big mess in turn number 8 right as we come back. Michael Brown, Micah Knapp. That was right in front of Blake Bavillier as Micah Knapp and Daniel Bouchard struggling to get back around. And just as we come back, the big one striking in turn number 8, and that has been pretty much the story of the afternoon so far. Has been turn 8 particularly, but also turn 3 as Colin Bear makes contact. Rather, Daniel Bouchard makes contact with Colin Bear. And that was in front of Blake Bavillier, who leads for GT Daytona, has dominated for GTD, led almost every single lap. Led every lap besides those where we had the pit cycle going on. But Bavillier looking for win number 2 of the 2024 season. He is the lone GT Daytona car that is not 1 lap down. That's bound to change soon. But taking a look at the replay of that crash just a couple of laps ago, about 5 cars piling in. They go through the hairpin of turn number 8. That has been calamity corner all day long. And we've seen a lot of cars wheel hopping through this little banked area. But Reggie Fogelman leads as we're about 15 laps away from the next cycle of pit stops opening. She'll say 20 laps away from the next pit cycle, if I can finally English correctly. But there has been a little bit of a leader's jinx so far in GT Le Mans. Girasato led the first 28 laps before having a brake issue. Then Eric Monaco led the next 40 before he had an issue himself. And it's been Reggie Fogelman out front in this 06. Past the halfway point here at Old Spice. And just like that, Michael Brown spinning around once again. Fogelman will move past, and like we said, Girasato pitting off sequence with the rest of these cars, and he is going to have to make another pit stop before it's all said and done as he hits the pit wall, nearly careening right into the second and third place drivers for GT Daytona, who are still trying to fend off Jaden Russell, who is in position number 2 for GT Le Mans. Again, there is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide here at Old Spice with how short this track is and with how spread out all these drivers are. Again, pretty much anything can happen, and anything really has happened here this afternoon in Sturgeon Bay, as Russell continues to lose time to Reggie Fogelman. It's now trailing by 5 1/3 of a second behind that 06 car, as Brown just continues. Brown, I don't know if he's got like a broken track bar or something, but that 25 car is just all over the place. That's like the second or third time he has wheel hopped through turn number 8. He was involved in that big crash, but he is still racing here in the 25, and still only one car has retired from the race, despite the amount of carnage that we've had in turn 8. Zachary Fitzwater going down a lap. Here another car going around, and it's Roberto Crown Jr. Another GTLM car going around in turn 8 as Griffin Lynn will rejoin the field. A little bit of rear end damage on that Bardall number 1. Turn 8 has not been a good area for a lot of drivers today, as Connor Monaco. Some more rear end damage on that 21 car than we last saw him. Zachary Fitzwater just trying to get around him. Monaco right now, I'd imagine he's running about... He's still running decently in GT Daytona. I think he might actually be in the top 10. Yeah, Monaco is running, I believe he's 9th or 10th. As Zachary Fitzwater will move past him as we flip back up to the front. Trying to find a Reggie Fogelman, and the two leaders running nose to tail. Fogelman looking to put Bavillier down a lap. Bavillier just trying to run away from the other leader in this race. Side by side, the two leaders go. We saw at Daytona earlier this year, the two leaders taking one another out. And this could happen if Fogelman is not careful. And Reggie's actually got a little bit of front end damage. So I'm not sure if he ran in the back of the 98 or what, but now Fogelman is going to have some damage to repair on the pit lane. That'll be good for trying to see where Jaden Russell has fallen back to. And Russell, I think he went around as well. So Jaden Russell, who has been second pretty much all day long, having some issues as it goes 3 wide through 8. Riley Sampson and Juan Rodriguez splitting the 8 car down the middle, and it's not going to be back-to-back wins for the 8 machine today. Tough break for Jaden Russell. He was running so well, and that'll put Owen Miles up in second. This has been a position where I don't think we've seen Miles in pretty much at all this season. Rose will hit the service area. Sato is a lap down. But Owen Miles right now, we know with this 06 cars, another car going around, another big wreck, and that is involving Dylan Matthews, Michael Brown, Nathan Ormond, Who else is that? Tatiana Nagora. So the top couple leaders in GT Daytona going around, and one of them is the points leader for GTD. Doesn't look like there's too much damage to the rear end of Dylan Matthews. And I don't think they're going to lose a whole lot of positions either. Colin Bear will take second away in GTD. And now we'll see some cars hitting the pit lane as Dustin Davis is down. Same with Michelle Gavinu. Gavinu actually having a mechanical failure. I don't know if she's still down. No, Gavinu is back out on the track, so that was just a scheduled pit stop for her. But now we're starting to see the pit stops. Second cycle of pit stops starting here. One of them coming in is Riley Sampson. Nagora is in. Most of these guys have damage from any incidents. A lot of people coming down the pit lane, but your leaders continue to stay out with Reggie Fogelman leading the way. Owen Miles behind him by about 2 seconds. He's trying to get around Bevillier as well. Aguirre Sato's on that fresh rubber. He's putting those BF Goodrich tires to use. Only 9 cars are on the lead lap right now. Reggie Fogelman putting on a show, but again, does that team elect to repair the damage on the pit lane, and can he survive these next 55 laps being out front? He has led the most laps for GT Le Mans so far today. So Alexander will come back out. That's Bradley Ream will hit the pit lane as Igor Barreto will come in front of him. Whoa, Bradley just barely touching the rear end of that 14 car. I think he actually did get a significant piece. So a bad day gets worse, and the guys in the shop is, oh, Nathan Orman going around. Caleb Rose chopping the 4, and Orman's clean day comes to an end. Clean as in not really a whole lot of damage, as suffering significant damage is that Goodwrench Corvette. And a bad day continues to get worse for Nathan Orman as he'll hit the pit lane. But as we see a lot of guys come down the pit lane, I don't think we're going to get another fast stop like we did earlier. Fogelman will stay out. Miles will stay out as well. A lot of the field coming down into the service area. Right now, your 2 fastest pit stops of the day belong to Nathan Orman, ironically, with a 14.25 second stop, and Griffin Lynn, 14.94 for the 01 of Lynn for GT Daytona. Sato and Lagacy getting a little close for comfort there. And running in the back end, there goes the leader. Around goes Fogelman, and the leader Jinx will strike for the 3rd time. Fogelman, heavy damage to that Interstate Batteries Corvette, and for the 3rd time today, the leader crashing out in GT Le Mans, and that is heavy damage on both ends of that 06. And right in front of Miles, Micah Knapp hits the wall again. Absolute chaos at Old Spice. You'll see the replay with Fogelman being caught up with. Couldn't tell who was caught up with. But Reggie Fogelman will hit the pit lane. He has got a lot of damage to repair. And Miles will become the 4th leader today in GT Le Mans. Oh my goodness, what a race here in Wisconsin, and Miles now with a second and a half lead over Sebastian Palmer, your Denver winner, and Palmer has been really quiet the last couple of weeks. But it has just been a horrifying season for Reggie Fogelman so far. Over these last couple of races, it's going to be 3 straight finishes outside the top 10 for Fogelman. He is going to have some laps led bonus points, as Voil's getting loose under your GT Daytona leader. But Fogelman, a horrible last couple of weeks. Someone going around, and there goes your leader for GT Daytona. Blake Bavillier has gone around, but I do not believe he gave up the lead. No, he did not, but here comes a hard-charging Colin Bear, and the leader Jinx has struck the number 11. The dominant car of the day for GT Daytona has gone around. He has got significant damage on the rear end, and Colin Bear looking to strike. Oh, I feel gutted for Bavillier, your Denver winner, having such a good afternoon. He is going to have to spend extended time on the pit lane, and Colin Bear will inherit the lead. As turn number 3, the other hairpin on the track, the other calamity corner, Sato spins Michael Brown. Just really to put an exclamation point on that. Sato and Brown getting turned together in turn number 3 again, right in front of Owen Miles, who we mistook for Zachary Fitzwater earlier. Miles just trying to get around these cars as we work soon on the next set of pit stops, but what an afternoon it has been. There's Reggie Fogelman. They've got the hood off of that 06. And with everybody else having issues, Fogelman is only in the 12th spot. Jaden Russell will come back on to the track. Actually, that's Roberto Crown Jr. coming back on. Trying to see where Owen Miles is. Miles will continue to stay out. Actually, I expect these guys to probably come in in about 7 laps. Actually, someone going around, a hard crash back in here. It's Michelle Gavinou, turn number 2, striking once again as Josh Harmon. But a mechanical issue towards the midway point of the race, those two going around. And we have got a lot to replay here. Again, only one retiree so far in this race. Caleb Rose is 10 laps down. It seems like he's just coming in down the pit lane every lap, but here we go. Race leader for GT Le Mans is in the pit lane. Owen Miles is down into the service area. Sebastian Palmer right behind him. This is the money stop here on lap 104. They came in about 5 laps later than we anticipated, but 5 laps before we readjusted for. And now, do these guys do strategy a little bit slow on the left side for Miles? The jack will drop a little slow off, but he is out and away. Palmer slow off as well. Off the jack, 1442, 1492. About a half a second faster stop for Palmer. But he is going to lose a lot of track position behind this 59. And out and away, a little bit of contact for Owen Miles. Just a little bit of damage on that Exxon number 59, but he looks to be good to the go at the moment, and getting a couple of cars in between him and Sebastian Palmer. And look, this is just a tight wad that is just begging for a disaster right in here. And I'm surprised they didn't all wreck right there. It's only when our camera is not on the action that these guys wreck. But trying to find Colin Bear, who I believe Colin is the race leader for GT Daytona. There he is, right behind this whole wad of cars. And he has got a pretty sizable lead over Brooke Paquette, who's got some rear end damage. Good news for Bavillier, who'll only lose 4 positions. But it's really a heartbreak there for Bavillier, who dominated this race, and he did lock up the most laps led bonus. So at least he'll have 10 bonus points to his name as Felipe Santos, a little close going into the pits. Santos will get a couple of laps led, and we'll see what the overcut is able to do. Trying to find where 59 is. There's the 59, and Santos might be a little close as Santos finally down the pit lane. Big water cars back in here, and Owen Miles is easily going to blow past this 64 car, who's just coming off. Going off track there was Bradley Ream. No harm, no foul. He's missing a hood, so a little bit of a foul there. And Aguirre Sato now up to second, but remember, he's off sequence with these guys, so he'll have to come in later on as Buchanan will go around in the 99. So I'm surprised that Sato didn't try to pit with the rest of these cars. But he is, in fact, up to second. But he is on much older tires than this 59. And this 20 car, I expect Palmer to try and catch up to the fray after a little bit. But hey, 49 getting around this 40 car, and Bradley Ream doing a whale of a job just trying to stay in this race, albeit he is several laps down. Currently running in the 20th spot, 4 laps down for Bradley Ream, but he's not last. Again, only 1 car out of this race so far. But Owen Miles leads the way. Aguirre Sato is second, but realistically it'll be Sebastian Palmer in the second spot. Santos will fall back to 4th. A good recovery for him as he's got fresher tires. 5th will be Daniel Voiles. 6th is Nathan Stapleton. 7th will be Blaze Zebratar. And Brooke Paquette has gotten around Colin Bear, so it's not a race on the NASRN without us missing a pass for the race lead. Actually scratch that. Brooke Paquette is a lap down. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so Paquette is not in front. It's still Colin Bear, so it's not. Well, we've missed about 15 different wrecks, so I'd say that makes up for us missing a pass for the lead. We did miss Eric Monaco having his issues, so I guess there's that. Monaco still running 19th on the track. He is 2 laps down. I believe it's going to translate to about 15th for GT Le Mans. Not the run he wanted, especially after the early start that he had. Under 40 laps to go here in the Wisconsin Grand Prix. It has been a good one so far, and we still don't know what in God's name is going to happen in these next couple of laps. Today has just been all about traffic. They say the traffic in Los Angeles is bad, but the lap traffic here in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin has been even worse, as Owen Miles continues to try and find his way around all of these cars. And Miles looking for his first win in the FMGTC. I believe if he's able to win here today, he will become the 2nd or 3rd driver to win in all 3 divisions here on the NASRN. He's won in the MBCS. He's obviously won in the WAS. But he has not won here yet in the FMGTC, but he is the 4th leader. And again, there's been a leader jinx for GT Le Mans, so far from safe is Owen Miles. And right as I say that, Sato will spin around along with Josh Harmon. And Seb Palmer will officially take 2nd away, and it's not been a good day for Aguirre Sato. He'll get it back and going, he'll only lose 1 spot. Going around is John Andrews once again. His turn 8 has really just been so killer. Miles continues to show the way. He's got a 2.5-second lead over Sebastian Palmer. Sada will choose now to come down the pit lane as he flat spotted his tires. And that'll give 3rd to Felipe Santos, who will run still 7 seconds back. But Palmer looking for win number 2 of 2024. He won at the Denver Motorsports Park as he nearly makes contact with his Corvette teammate. The Vets trying to continue their winning streak. They have won all 8 races here in the top division, or in the faster class. For the GT Le Mans 3 wide, Owen Miles playing it very dangerous, especially given where he sits right now. Miles just playing with fire. Has nearly taken out that 20 car was Asado. He smacked the outside wall coming off of the pit lane. And that nearly just pretty much gifted this race to Owen Miles as we hear some cars getting loose. Again, with all the drivers having rear end damage, it's taking a lot of the downforce off of that rear end. That spoiler is really just not doing anything. And that's a big reason why these cars are spinning around. Obviously, these loads going through the banked corners, not really helping either. But it's really been a test of man versus machine here all day long. And it really just keeps us guessing on what's going to go on, especially with these leaders. You know, pretty much everybody has had some sort of issue today. I don't see any clean cars on the track. With the exception, I think Colin Bear is actually one of the few clean cars, and I thought he was going to get clocked there by the 8 machine. Right as I said that, Bear continues to lead. He's got a fairly sizable lead over Dylan Matthews. Let's see. About a 4 or 5 second lead over Dylan Matthews. So Colin Bear looking comfortable out there in the McDonald's number 9 for GT Daytona. Again, this has been the rare case where GT Le Mans has been the one to watch as Stapleton will get turned. Michael Brown, more like Michael Maples, as he has just been a menace out there today. That is probably the 7th or 8th car that Michael Brown has taken out in that 25. And Nathan Stapleton, the latest victim of this 25 car. And Stapleton, he's not going to lose a spot, as you know, Sampson was just around him, or Sampson was just really behind, but more rear end body work for Nathan Stapleton's team to fix. Closing in on 30 laps to go. Owen Miles out front for GT Le Mans. He goes underneath one of the 4 leaders here today for GTLM. One of the 4 consistent leaders, rather. Eric Monaco, one of the 3 leaders in the first third of this race, and it was Reggie Fogelman who led things pretty much in the second, third. And right now, looking to lead the way home is Owen Miles, but he's got plethora of lap traffic in front of him. A lot of damaged race cars in front of this 59. Coming around to 30 to go here from Wisconsin. The Rochester, New York native just looking to hold on. But now that these cars have come down the pit lane, and they came down when they did at lap 55, so they're doing about 55 laps for every run. So with the 55 laps for every run, again, that's going to put them really, really close in terms of tire wear. And again, we see it at the tail end of these runs. When the tires start to go off, that's where we see the wheel hopping, the spinning, and the crashing start to take place. Miles trying to go the long way around on the outside lane will do so, trying to slingshot around Mike Vincent Jr. Take a look at our helicopter cam at the layout here of Old Spice. Turn number 2 as they go into the first hairpin on the course. Miles, a good run around the corner underneath the bridge and back onto the banked part of the course. Through turn 6 into turn number 7. And here into just this flat hairpin. Making up a single lap here at Old Spice. Under the bridge they go once again. Miles continuing to show the way. And trying to catch up to Colin Bear. Trying to find that 09 car. Oh, and going around there, Sato and Legacy. And heavy damage to Aguirre Sato. That might be the end of the road for him. Got that on our aerial cam. You'll see the replay of that down below. There's a 9 car. Go back to the helicopter cam for him. We'll actually get a stationary shot of turn number 8 once we get to it. You see, there it is. Colin Bear able to get through, and we'll wait until Owen Miles will come through in that 59 car. Villiers will get through. Same thing with Roberto Crown Jr. Looking for Owen Miles. There he is in that 59 as he will go through. Turn number 8. Turns 8 and 3 have been the treacherous ones today. 26 to go here from Wisconsin. And somebody going around in turn number 1. Not sure who that was. Miles will go wide once again. I think we're all sick of the helicopter cam. But the late stages of this race. And oh, Sebastian Palmer. Issues with the 20 car. He has gone around. That may have been the culprit who went around in turn number 1. We'll see what happened. I don't know if he went around in turn number 1 or if he went around in turn 8 like everybody else has been. But that'll give Felipe Santos position number 2, and he is hounding this back bumper of Owen Miles. Miles now with company out back. Palmer will fall back to 3rd, and Santos, who has been one of the clean cars so far today, looking to capitalize and trying to get Jaguar their first win of 2024. To quote the great band Green Day, it's been a Corvette summer, and it's just been a Corvette year so far. But remember, Santos is on 2-lap fresher tires, and he is slicing and dicing his way in that Eaton number 64. Right in front, dangerous spot for Owen Miles to be in. Close quarters racing with him and Mike Vincent Jr. And that 64 car is arrived, and he is arriving fast. Miles just needing to run a clean race as we approach the end of the Old Spice, Wisconsin Grand Prix. Santos is now within striking distance of Owen Miles. Owen Miles hooking Mike Vincent Jr. there at a turn number 8. That could have been disastrous. And Santos is here. He is right on the back bumper of Owen Miles. He's going to try and make his move. Trying to go the long way around this 59 car. Remember the damage to the passenger side of that Exxon or Chevy Corvette. Here comes Santos. Where does he make his move? Trying to get around this 59. He was trying to get around this 78. Lap traffic has been the name of the game today, and it's going to come into play here today. Nagora trying to get around this 06, but this is the battle for the race lead in GT Le Mans. To the inside goes Santos. Can he make it stick? He is going to have a good move down low. Trying to survive on the outside lane is Miles. He'll get around. He is going to use Nagora as a pick going through turn number 6. Textbook move there, but Santos is able to get around the 22. Now to the inside of Vincent Jr. goes Miles. He is just trying to stick it in there, but Vincent Jr. utilizing the outside lane. They're door to door with 21 laps to go at Old Spice. Miles really loose to the corner. Vincent Jr. nearly cleaning his clock. Santos just trying to get around. He is going to run into him. The two GTLM leaders collide. And around goes Owen Miles, and the leader jinx continues in GTLM. 4 different leaders, all of them taken out. And Felipe Santos with damage, but he is going to take this lead away. Coming around a 20 to go here from Old Spice. And that is a microcosm of today. Owen Miles, heartbreak for him. And he just flat out was dumped by Santos. And I don't believe that they're going to need Felipe Santos to wreck out here. This 59 to this 20 car want to catch up. This is actually going to be a good opportunity for Blaze Zebratar to try and get up to second with 20 laps to go. There's still a bunch of lap traffic in front of this 64, and just like that, he's going to make contact with Buchanan. Fortunately, both of them save it. 19 laps to go here from Wisconsin. In case you are just tuning in, you have missed the race of the season. Here at Old Spice, it's Felipe Santos having to put the chrome horn to Owen Miles, and I think that was just a case of older tires versus newer tires, and I don't know if Miles just brake checked the 64, but he paid the price, and I thought both of those cars were going to go around and Palmer was going to take the race lead. But Santos just needs to run a good couple of laps. Back out here for GT Daytona. It is still the 09 holding this lead, but Dylan Matthews has been reeling in. It's going around as Brad Stover in front of the GT Daytona leaders. That'll be another car between the 9 and the 26, but Matthews was able to repair the damage on the pit lane, and she has been reeling in this 9 car for the last couple of laps. Matthews looking to extend her points lead going into Thornton, but back at the front of this field. Santos just trying his hardest to get around the lap traffic as fast as he can. A 4.5 second lead he possesses over Owen Miles. But a lot of rear end damage to that 59 car as he just tries to get back up here. But again, we got 2 spots of calamity on the track. And these these 64 tires are going to start to wear out. Back up in here. Oh, wow, 3 wide going through turns 1 and 2. As Colin Bear will catch up to lap traffic himself, so we got to keep tabs on both of these leaders. But remember, they're about 1 lap down, so they're going to have to do an extra lap here, or they're going to do 1 last lap. Bear trying to find his way down low. He was able to keep it straight. Michael Brown will spin around once again. Again, he's just been the Michael Maples, the Amber Balkan, if you will, as hooking around close between Bouchard and Lagasse. It's not been a good day for Bouchard. But back for Santos, he's gotten around the 06. 15 laps to go from Old Spice for Felipe Santos. He's just trying to survive. You're just trying to survive if you're Felipe. Little wide through the corner, just trying to get around these lap cars. And I think once he gets around Mike Vincent Jr., that'll probably be game over for everybody. As a big wad of cars back in here. I don't think he's going to catch up to them in time, as Matthews continues to actually lose a little bit of ground there in second. Colin Bear just trying to weather his storm. Felipe Santos looking to get the Jags their first win of the season. It was all Corvette for the first 125 odd laps. But Santos putting the back end to Owen Miles, maybe a little bit more than he would have wanted to. I don't know. I think he's definitely going to catch up to Michael Brown, and with the way that Michael Brown has been racing, I really don't know if Santos is safe whatsoever, as Dylan Matthews is just in the middle of hell right now. Actually, Blake Bavillier. Yeah, Bavillier is a little too far back, so Matthews is just literally just trying to survive for a second place finish if you're Dylan right now. Back to the front. See if anybody else wrecks south that'll add for another play for the 64 car. Through the corner, Bavillier, the dominant car for GT Daytona, back in third. It'll be a good recovery for him, but the run he was having in the first 2/3 of this race, it's not what you want for Bavillier as he tries to get around Nathan Ormond. 41 cars remain on the track, about maybe 2 of them are bent the exact same way that they started out in Felipe Santos, with 11 and a half laps to go. Just trying to hold on. He is going to catch up to lap traffic. He's probably going to have to pass about 5 more cars, one of them being Michael Brown. And I really don't think Santos is out of it yet. I really think that this battle is going to come down to these 2 damaged cars of Miles and Palmer right here. 11 to go as they cross the stripe. Santos is caught up to more lap traffic. And I think as long as nothing happens to Colin Bear, he should be good to the go for GT Daytona. But this is the battle right here for GT Le Mans. 2-for-1 deal for Felipe Santos through turns 5 and 6. Turn number 7, just trying to put as much distance between himself and everybody else as he can. 10 laps to go for Santos as he passes 3 cars. 7-second lead the previous time by. We'll see what the interval is now between him and Miles. It's down a 10th with the lap traffic that he had to get around. again, there is still plenty of time. We've probably got at least 5 or 6, 7 or so minutes left in this race. So plenty of things can go wrong. But Santos now with a little bit of breathing room in front of him. We'll go to your fastest lap, Riley Sampson. The fastest lap right now for GT Le Mans. For GT Daytona still, Logan Alexander. So those will be your 2 drivers with a little bit of bonus points. But Santos now catching up to Michael Brown, Roberto Crown Jr., Blake Bavillier. I think Bavillier might be the last car that he catches up to. But that 64 has been running on rails. However, 59 is just slowly but surely catching up to him. He had the same amount, but again, like the tire disparity, and of course him being punted by the 64, not really helping anything, as Lagacy will go around. He'll just barely keep it off the wall. A couple of cars slow in front. Nowhere near Felipe Santos and nowhere near Colin Bear. And we continue to race on with 8 to go. Santos has caught up to Michael Brown. Now, how does he get around this 25 car easily to the inside? Brown will just let him pass. And good move out of the 25 with 7 laps to go here from Old Spice. Felipe Santos coming into this race in the bottom half of the points standings. Only 136 points behind Eric Monaco, and I tell you, with the results we're going to have today, his point standings are going to become a snow globe. With Felipe Santos, Owen Miles, and Sebastian Palmer. While it's not a win for Palmer, it'll still be a good run after he's been free-falling in the points. And Fogelman's actually going to salvage a nice top 10 finish out of this, actually. I don't know what happened to Blaze Zebratar as they go 3 wide. Bavillier straight hard into the wall. Hard hit for him and Roberto Crown Jr. That was right in front of Felipe Santos. And we'll finally get our second and third retirees of the race. And it has all gone downhill for Blake Bavillier, who will finish 20th in today's race, likely. But 5 laps to go for Felipe Santos. Trying to get around 2 more lap down cars. He has a 9-second lead. As Sebastian Palmer has gotten around Owen Miles for position. But again, these tires starting to wear out. We're starting to see the chaos ramp up. Santos has got a 10-second lead over these cars. He is just trying to baby the throttle around here and trying to bring this baby home. Colin Bear with Dano Georgi right behind him. Bear just trying to survive as well. Dylan Matthews. A lot of cars behind him. Santos getting around Brad Stover. 3.5 laps to go. He'll get around Paquette. He's not going to catch up to John Stewart once he gets around Paquette. That should be it for Felipe. Coming around, Paquette is just going to let him go to the inside. And Santos, wide open racetrack in front of him. 3 to go at the line. Going back. Whoa, what a battle back in here. As Palmer, a little loose down low. And this is the battle for second place at the moment. Oh, we could have a big stack up in here if these guys aren't careful. 3 wide is Zebratar, and everybody just trying to get around. But back at the front, it's a 12-second lead for Felipe Santos. He could spin around and still win. That's how big of an advantage he has got. Popsicle sticks are in the air. 2 laps to go for Felipe Santos. Out in front of him, Colin Bear with no comers behind him. 26 just barely in frame. Everybody just trying to get to the end. A lot of bent sheet metal here at the Old Spice High Endurance Raceway through turn number 7 and turn number 8. The white flag is in the air. One more time around Old Spice for Felipe Santos in this 64. Started this race in the 11th spot. Has got 7 more corners to go. He's through 1 and 2, all good and well. John Stewart's not going to play a factor. A 13 3/4 of a second lead for Santos. He can spin around and do his burnouts early, and he'll still have enough space out in front. Through turn 6 and turn number 7. One final trip through turn number 8 it will take. He can spin around if he wanted to, but it's not going to happen. Off the final corner, Felipe Santos gets Jaguar's first win of the season here at the Old Spice Raceway. And back out front, Colin Bear, way out front of Dylan Matthews. It'll be a valiant effort from Matthews, but he's not going to get there in time unless Skylar Taylor dumps this 9 car going into the corner. Into turn 8 for the final time. Checkered flag in the air. Colin Bear weathers the storm. He goes to victory lane for GT Daytona. What a race. I don't even know if we call it a race, more just survival of the fittest, really. But going to victory lane, Felipe Santos and Colin Bear here at Old Spice. Taking a look at your official standings, Felipe Santos wins for GT Le Mans, gets Jaguar's first win of the season. It has been a Corvette summer all year long, but ending the summer, Felipe Santos gets the job done. Palmer and Miles, your podium. That is big for Sebastian Palmer, getting him back in this points battle. Nathan Stapleton and Daniel Voiles, your top 5. Yeah, just taking a look at this list. You know, Jaden Russell. I think Russell might actually have the points lead going into Thornton. But if we thought it was close before, oh boy, this is just going to be a massive... I really don't know what to call. Actually, looking at things right now, Palmer was actually 61 behind. Palmer actually might have the points lead going into Thornton. But taking a look at your standings for GT Daytona, Colin Bear gets it done for GTD. Dylan Matthews will extend her points lead. And Tatiana Nagora will round out the podium. 3 cars finished this race behind the wall. Blake Vivillier, who dominated the first part of this race for GT Daytona. Roberto Crown Jr., the lone retiree in GT Le Mans. And Alex Lozano from all the way earlier on in the race retires for GT Daytona in the 043. That was about the most NASRN race we could ever ask for. But that'll do it here from Old Spice. Congratulations once again to Felipe Santos and Colin Bear for winning the Old Spice Wisconsin Grand Prix at the Old Spice High Endurance Raceway. And we will see you next month down south in the small town of Thornton, Illinois for the Thornton 13 on the streets of Thornton on September 13th at 5 p.m. Eastern, right here on the NASRN in the nice blue-collar town, the mining community of Thornton, Illinois. 13 laps around Thornton. We did 5 with the Wasp. We're doing 13 with the FMGTC. I believe mileage-wise, that should be our shortest race of the season. I'll have to double-check that. But mark your calendars, September 13th at 5 p.m. Eastern, right here on the NASRN for race number 9 of the 2024 season of the Flowmaster Grand Touring Championship. Thank you once again for tuning in to today's coverage of the FMGTC. Here are your point standings after race 7 of the FMGTC. And from Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, on behalf of the North American Sim Racing Network, my name is Trey Wright. Have a great evening, folks.